It's already March 1st, 2022. I want to talk a little bit about the heart. What is the heart? The spiritual heart, more like it. Because God said it was a commandment. Christ said the biggest commandment is to love your God with all your heart, with all your strength, with all your mind, with all your soul. And a second commandment, as big as the first, is to love your neighbor as yourself. So if we understand the first commandment, if we understand what it means to love our God with everything we are, then and only then we can love our neighbor. If we understand how and what it means to love God, then only then we understand what it means to love our neighbor. So what is the heart? How I got to understand is that I just thought about if we have our physical body with our hands and legs and brain and heart, then we have to have our spiritual body, that it's in control of the physical body. Because the hands don't move by themselves, the legs don't walk by themselves, the brain doesn't think. The heart doesn't beat by itself. It needs the energy to beat. So then we or our physical body needs food to eat. The process, what happens is you eat the food, goes into the stomach through the digestive system, and the stomach, in the stomach is where the breakdown of the food happens, and all the chemicals goes into its place where it needs to go, like your iron, magnesium, all the chemical reactions that it needs for your nervous system, for your brain to function, for everything, for every single thing to function properly in your body. We need chemicals. We don't need meat and fruits and veggies. That's where we get the chemicals from. So we look at a banana and we see a banana and say, we want a banana. But actually, it's the chemical into banana that we need, like the magnesium and so forth. So if we have the physical, that's the copy of our spiritual. That's the symbol of what our spiritual is, because we cannot see our spiritual body, we can feel it. So we need a physical body to understand our spiritual body. And our physical body will never be able to go to heaven. It is made of flesh of blood, flesh and blood. The only one that's going to be in heaven is flesh and bones, no blood. So if our body needs food and chemicals, so does our spiritual body needs food. So we feed our physical body from food, from sources that we take the food. Who made that food? I mean, we put the seed, but who makes it grow? If we take the food from the right source without bad stuff in it, then it's good for us. And it's same with our spiritual body. If we take our food from the right source, then it's good for us. But if we take our spiritual food from the wrong source, then it's bad for us. So I want to talk more about the spiritual body in comparison with our physical body. We need spiritual food like love. We cannot live without love. It's impossible. We need love. We need love so we can love. We need security so we feel safe. We need to be happy so we are joyful. But for all the needs that we have, spiritual needs, we need to take them from the right place, because we all have needs. And who fulfills those needs? Who created love? Where do we take it from? If I expect to take love from people, then can I take something from the same source that they need the same thing? If they need the same, how can I get it? If they need it, that means they don't have it. They themselves need it. So where do I take it from? Because you see, if I take it from the wrong source, if I expect to take love from my spouse or from children or from relatives or from friends, then it's when I get upset and depressed, and I get I expect them to fulfill that need, that love need that I need, and because they can't, then I'm gonna judge them for not giving it to me, and then I am disappointed, and then maybe I'm gonna get into depression because nobody loves me, and then maybe I'm gonna get some PTSD because of the experiences I went through. So where do I take the love from? If I'm connected to the right source, for that source is God, that source is the one that created us, that's the one that created love, because he created us in need of love. And if we understand where I can access love from, then it's gonna be good for my spiritual being. And if my spiritual being is good, then also my physical being is gonna be good. If my spiritual being is good and exalted, then it's gonna show into my physical, because that's how we know how our spiritual is, because it shows into our physical. So where is the heart? Our physical body has a brain. It has hands, legs, also has the heart that beats, that the life goes through, which the blood is the life. How about our spiritual? So into our spiritual body compared to our physical, what is the brain? That is the brain, the spiritual brain, that's our thoughts. That's our conscience. It's our conscience where the thoughts happens. Then where is the heart? The heart is the subconscious. And what is the stomach? The stomach, it's like a dear brother explained it. It's an empty bottles. It's the empty bottles, like in our physical is an empty stomach. Now those bottles needs to be filled. There is one bottle that needs to be filled with love. Another bottle needs to be filled with security. So the bottles is the need. So the need in singular, it's the stomach of our spiritual body compared to our physical. So then we need to feed. We need to feel the need that we have, our spiritual stomach that need. And we need to feel it with love. We need to feel it with all these needs that we have. But what matters is where do we feel them from? Because I can have a good experience with my spouse and be happy for a day or two, and then I need to go back to the same well, and then go back to the same well, and then go back to the same well until it's all exhausted. There's no more. Because I am always thirsty. I always need to fulfill this need. So when I fulfill that need, and if I fulfill it from the right source, then I don't have to eat alive my friends, my children, my spouse. I don't have to, because they don't have it. They need to take it from the same source I take it. So it's good for them. So they eat the right food, the right spiritual food. And then they're fulfilled. And then it's going to show outside, on our outside body, on our outside chemical reactions, where the chemical reactions happens. So who is thinking then? The brain? Who is that hungry then? The stomach? So if I know what the heart is, not the physical heart, but the spiritual heart, because that's what matters. If I know what that heart is the subconscious. And also Christ said that everything that's bad comes from the heart, from the subconscious. Because since we're born, that subconscious is constantly building through the experiences, to what we are exposed to what we start to believe in. Because we're starting to build a belief system, and that it's all the subconscious. Say when I see a car that I so much want, it's the subconscious, the heart, that takes over the consciousness, where the consciousness is like, I don't really afford it, because I can only afford a car that is worth $5,000, for example. But here is the subconscious, that desire, where it says, well, I want this car that is $50,000 because I need it to go to work. So then I'm going to buy this car that I can't afford, and then I'm going to look for another job just to be able to pay for this car that I so desire to have. And then I become a slave to the car. And this is what we do every day with everything. Some people more than others, however, we all do it. We all have our dependencies, and we all have our desires, and we all have our need that needs to be fulfilled. And then if we don't know where the source to take from to fulfill it, to eat from, then we're going to try and fulfill it from everything around us. That's same like us. It's created. So where are we going to fulfill our needs from? From the one that gave it to us, that created it, created them, same like created us? Or we're going to try to fulfill from the creation and fail miserably? Where are we gonna feed from?